Welcome to the BAI show. My name's James Rankin. I am here with Michelle Lewis of Michelle Lewis Property Buyers Agents. Welcome, Michelle. So great to have you along.
Thanks, James. Hey, everyone. Great to be here.
Nice. Michelle, you've had a very well-rounded and like many people that come on this show, I think yours is probably a little bit further than that, where you've done some things yourself and then jumped into the buyer's agent space. So you sound like you've just had a passion for property for quite a while. But as an overview, I guess if you can just give us the Michelle Lewis and where you've come from and what you're doing currently, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, James. So, look, for me, it was about investing in assets that appreciate and not investing in assets that depreciate. So, that was a really strong feeling for me. So, buying our first property that was run down, we renovated it ourselves and we could see the value that we added to that. And I just wanted to build a legacy for my children so they never have to worry about working paycheck to paycheck. I never wanted to worry about working paycheck to paycheck. So, property was a very big strength for me, something I could do whilst being mum and having kids. And so, yeah, that's kind of how the journey started. And then fast forward today, running my own female-led buyers agency business, which I'm super proud of and super encouraging of other women to do the same. And I guess in the background, I've been an investor. And so people started saying, "Hey, Michelle, how did you do that? Can you teach us?" So I came into the coaching space, property investment consulting and renovation consulting, and working for a national company doing that. And now bring all of that skill set, all of my self-development, my mindset work, and bringing it into my property knowledge that I've spent loads of time and energy in that I just love.
Yeah. And you do bring a lot of energy to it. Like I have seen that you've got your the things that you lean really well into, like your card giving and all those bits and pieces that make you who
Mm,
you are. So if we
yes.
go back a little bit further, like the property space, but you were also a registered nurse, right? The registered
Yes.
nurse has been like a theme. It's been an
Yeah.
absolute theme
Ooh,
through the buyer's agent
ooh.
space. So all you
Yeah,
nurses out there, but yeah,
I love
registered
it.
nurse.
So, nurses are caring, educated, intelligent people, but we're not able to build, well, that's not true. You can build wealth as a nurse, but, having the property, putting your money in from your income into property is going to add to your wealth over time and your intergenerational wealth. And so I think a lot of us saw that that's something that's possible. We're super organized, and just, making a difference in our own lives as well as caring for other people. So, through this last 12 months, I've stopped my nursing. I only really ever did it just to keep my registration going. But I've let go of that now because I've been so busy in my buyer's agency space and I was emotionally ready to let go. But yeah, I've worked in all the areas in nursing, from intensive care, emergency, and most recently as a cardiac nurse. So yeah.
And how long was that? Like, how long were you in the medical space?
Oh, like 20 years.
Oh
So
wow, yeah,
I'm a little older than some of the people in our community. But yeah, a long time. But it was always a casual part-time thing amongst my reno projects that replaced my income. So it was just sort of, it was actually, for me, it was a connection with my nursing community, getting out of the house, and actually obviously for borrowing capacity. Banks love to see you earning money.
for sure, for sure. And
Yeah.
then, so when did you pick up the renos? Like, when did you start doing the renovation?
So first reno 2003, but then I really started getting serious in 2011, 2012. And that's where I jumped into learning with property women, and then went on to results mentoring and really got serious. And I just loved it. And it's not always the properties, it's the people you meet, the experiences you have. And for me, it's about being around like-minded people who want to stretch themselves, who want to build businesses, who want to be entrepreneurial. And sometimes in our lives, we meet people and they just don't have that. So coming into a community like the Buyers Agents Institute, having all these really cool people that want to do stuff and grow, it's an amazing space.
And the renovation, do you still do renovations at the
Yes.
moment? You do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, we've got a project on at the moment. I did a podcast with Todd Sloan from Pizza and Property, so you can have a listen to that. Just about finish the inside, and then we'll do the outside. So yeah, still doing renos.
nice. Yeah, and it's still viable, and that sort of leads me into the next question. Adelaide. I know you don't just do Adelaide, but that is your primary focus.
Yes.
How's the market over there?
Yeah, look, so there's been a lot of demand, particularly in the lower end of the market, that 4, 5, 6, 700. There's loads of interest. There might be a slight softening in the higher end of the market, but as you know, Adelaide still is affordable. You can still pick something up in the 5, 6, 700K potential subdivision. Might need a bit of reno if you're buying on the cheaper side, but there's definitely still a lot of demand here. And the prices are continuing to rise. So I see that happening for a little bit longer. None of us know when it'll even out, but it will at some stage, presumably. But we're really just, we've just about caught up to Melbourne, as you know, with the median prices being very similar now. But yeah, it's been a really interesting time in Adelaide.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I've watched that market for many, many moons. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, some of the like the older school property chats and things like that, where you would hear on the grapevine like
Mm.
what things were doing, like before Instagram, right?
Yeah.
It was always the forums. And
Yes.
Adelaide's played this place, or played a role in terms of affordability, like for quite some time, but
Mhm.
it sort of like didn't do anything for quite a while as well.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Yes.
especially through that. What is it? It must be northeast. Well, is it northeast? No, it must be north, just pretty much straight north, like
Yeah,
Elizabeth
yeah,
and all
no.
of those
Yes, yes.
areas through there. But that's all changed now, right? Like it is actually
Oh,
price wise.
yeah, a lot of Adelaideans see those particular areas in a certain light. Would be the same around the country in certain suburbs. Oh, you'd never buy there. Well, people are foolish because there's millions of dollars being spent in those areas. Those areas are gentrifying. The suburbs are changing. People can no longer afford to be closer to the city. They're being forced out into those areas. They're buying in those areas, and there's development potential. There's a lot happening. So if you have had your blinkers on, open your eyes and drive through these suburbs. There's a lot of change happening.
Yeah, it's like southeast Queensland, or Brisbane rather. The
Mm.
Logan, I'd say Elizabeth and
Yes,
Logan are very, very similar
yes,
in terms of
yeah,
that pocket, and they were similar price points as well. Like they were around, you could buy something, 600 square meter block for sub 300, and
yeah,
now they're 450,
not
500,
anymore.
right? Like, yeah, like
Yeah,
it just keeps going.
mm,
So I
yeah,
mean, it's good to see, and I think the market overall, like in general around Australia, has started to, the 500's even hard to purchase.
yes, correct. And I always say to my clients, we take a long-term approach, and we're buying good assets within the area, for the long term. And so, yes, you can get certain properties that might have a quick uplift, but what's the long-term projection for that? Location, all the things we look at normally. So, yeah,
Amazing. Well, thanks for the market update. When we
welcome.
sometimes don't go too hard into the market and what it's doing, but just given your long-standing knowledge over there, I thought it might be
Mhm.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
So just going back to your career, and the turning
Mhm.
point of today, like this year, right? Like you said, in the last 12 months, you weren't going to do the nursing thing anymore. You were keeping it registered, but it was like finally mentally able to move forward. What was the, I guess, turning point and like made you go all in?
Money in the bank, like, the amount of money I make on a couple of deals versus, a casual nursing shift, there's no comparison. And so it was like, I don't need to do it anymore. And I feel like I've had a wonderful career and I absolutely loved it. It took me all over Australia. It was mobile. I traveled. It was very rewarding. But now I can look after my buyer's agents clients and, my community of other buyer's agents in Adelaide. And so community is very important for me, and, helping others and sharing what I know. And so I've got plenty of that now in my buyer's agents work.
You got space to really focus on what you want to do and what you do best, by the sounds of
Yes.
it. Not that you were not good at being a nurse or anything like that, but it's just that transition time, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
no, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty exciting, James. So it's life-changing, really.
yeah, it is amazing. And I know that you've had some big achievements and boxes ticked over the journey, and you hit a career milestone. I think it was late last year, where you
Yeah.
ticked the box of a $45,000 month.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. So ever since I was very young, or maybe around 18, I was always an obsessive goal writer. This might come back to our conversation from before, James, but I always wrote my goals down. And so when I decided to come into the BA space, I had a goal of a 45K month. And yeah, that was pretty exciting. So never underestimate the power of writing down your goals, having them in vision. I actually need to do some more. I'm going to make a note right now, rewrite my goals, because if we don't have somewhere to aim for, we don't know where we're going. So planning goals is really important.
Yeah. And your like the 45,000 month, what was the breakdown of clients? Like were they owner rocks? Were they investors?
So I work with both owner rocks and investors in that case. So yeah, it was a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, okay, cool. So you're like, is it 50-50 probably at the moment, like in terms
Yeah,
of
it's
individuals?
probably slightly more investors, probably 60-40, but each month is different. So it just depends, who comes along. But yeah, pretty much, yeah, mainly 50-50, but a little bit of up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we were talking this morning around your systems, processes, and I
Mhm.
guess what makes you successful in your business. And you have like a very good relationship with the people that work in your business as well. Is there anything
Yes.
there that sort of, has made you, I guess, I feel that you're very good in that space. Is there anything that you feel like a little nugget that you could share on what makes building that community so important to you, like internally and the people that work in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So, 2 points. One is, for me coming into this business, I wanted to buy back time. So I didn't want to be stressed and more crazy than ever, even though I am quite busy. So having an assistant to help me with that, when I advertised for that assistant, I actually advertised it as a joyful champion. And the person who applied, it took me a couple to get the right one. She's like, that's me, that's me. And that's who I've been working with for 2 years. So I really try and value what she brings to the business. Be a good boss. She had a birthday, gave her a little bonus, and just really, I guess, giving back to. But I think I worked out she saved me 500 hours in the last couple of years that I would have otherwise had to have done with things. And she's well capable. In fact, she's better at some things than I am. And I just love that she's all over the CRM. I'm the sales upfront person. So people like that, you can bring in at a very reasonable cost, and it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. And it's that buy back your time. You know what I mean? Like Jane
Yes.
Martell's got a book, buy back your time. And it talks about these people and like when to get them involved in your business. And it just sounds
Mm.
like you have that well-oiled machine going on
Yes.
in the background, which allows you to, yeah, get back the time and the space really to do the
Yeah.
stuff that you want to do and you're good at. Uh,
Yeah.
changing gears a little bit, I
Mhm.
noticed in your notes as well that you have built a reputation as the budget reno queen. That
That's true.
yeah. Can you give us a little bit of an insight there?
Yeah, so I'm naturally a tight ass. I don't like to spend money. And so when when I first started renovating, I think it was just a natural instinct for me to source things secondhand. I hate the idea of things going into landfill. And you make profit by what you don't spend on a reno. That's one of my taglines. And so pretty much every reno we've done, it's been a secondhand kitchen around $1,000, put on new bench tops, reconfigure. People are throwing out or on selling really great kitchens every day of the week. Just look on Facebook Marketplace. So that's one principle, and you can actually apply that to the rest of the house. And even, when we furnished our Airbnb, that was mostly secondhand furniture, obviously new sheets and whatnot. But I just love upcycling and recycling. It's been a passion for me, and I'm not afraid to get things off the side of the road. And I have a couple of other buddies. We always have a good laugh. Oh, there's a vanity on the side of the road. Quick, let's go get it. So it's kind of just a weird game we play, but it's helped us in our investing. And so yeah, I've become known for that, and I've definitely taught a lot of people those skills, and people don't realize.
And is that the type of skill set that you'll help your buyer's agent clients with? If you're savvy in that way.
Yeah, look, I've actually had a lot of inquiries lately about people wanting to do reno flips. So it hasn't been what people have come to me for, but I am seeing an upsurge of that at the moment, which I welcome. So in my coaching, I've done a lot of coaching on that side of things. But yeah, I've definitely it's people that have come to me typically haven't wanted to do the big reno. They're happy with some floors or some painting, but yeah, I think that's changing a little bit.
Watch this space, hey? Like it
Yes.
could be a new arm to the business, because that's like
Well, yeah.
what I've seen as well in the buyer's agent space. Those that have a, existing skill set, just to have
Yes.
the vision, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's looking at the floor plan, it's looking, hey,
Yes.
like let's just change this. It might just be a color change, because you see so many people walk into a property and they're like, I don't like the color of the bench tops, or I don't like the paint on the walls, and it's like, come
Yeah.
on, you can
Yeah.
change that. Like
Yeah.
that's all easy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely can see potential. In fact, the awfuler the better, the uglier the better. I love it, especially if it's originally ugly as opposed to being renovated a few times. So they're the gems.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
those, I guess, coming into this, like you've got quite a decent amount of knowledge in that property space. So
Mm.
to new investors or first time buyers or anything like that, do you have any tips and tricks for those guys and girls?
Yeah, one thing that I wish people had spoken to me more about in the beginning of my property career was holding more. So look, flipping did replace my income. So there's pros and cons to every step we take in life. But if you can hold it, hold it. If you need to make a chunk of cash, yes, do a reno. But wealth builds over time with holding.
Yeah. And on the flip side of it, because I'm not like, I've never done it before. It's not something that I knew of. Like I did know about it, but just never,
Mm.
I didn't go down the road because I just got told to hold everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
good.
and is it you're settling the property, do the reno, and then flip it, or do you try and do it in the settlement time so you're not settling it and paying stamp duty and then sales costs and all of that, or is
Yeah,
it?
look, we've done a combo. We've done a combo of all sorts of different things. But typically we do settle that way. And some we do within a short space. Others, we've held for some time, then sold, or we've, held in general. So yeah, a bit of a combo.
Yeah, there you go. Because I always wondered like how people go through that process. Because to me, well, at least in Victoria, the freaking um, stamp duty is just astronomical. Like if you bought anything decent, you're paying 5.5% on the way in, and then you've
Yeah.
got sales cost on the way out. So if you paid
Yeah.
800,000 for a property, it's like a $60,000 to $70,000 in transaction fees that you're just trying to make up.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, hold people, hold.
Hold where you can. That's it. That is it.
Yeah.
So going back to your comment around like building a female-led empire, I know that you
Yeah.
have a lot of passion for this space, and
Yes.
the Matildas, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there's plenty of other sporting teams that you follow. What's led you to that, and how do you want to make an impact there?
Yeah, so I feel like I grew up in a world where no one ever told me I could be an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. It was very much typically that wasn't what was taught. And I just feel like we should stand up in front of young women today and tell them they can own a business, they can be an entrepreneur, they can do whatever the hell they want. We've got plenty of Ray Whites and other male names in the business. And I just really wanted to make my stamp in the world and show my children my what's possible by having a female led business. And I know there are lots of other amazing female business leaders and entrepreneurs, and I just want to encourage men and women to know that you can do that too. And so I think, I hope that I'm a role model to other women, young, older women. It doesn't matter your age. You can absolutely do whatever you want. You can be a female led business. And in fact, we bring a certain skill set and a certain intuition and other things that perhaps, other people don't. Not that men aren't intuitive, of course they are, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. A lot of the decisions on properties are made by the women a woman in the relationship. So I think, we get that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And
Yeah.
the impact, like you've got your buyer's agency business. Is there anything else that you do, like extracurricular um, activities, just on in that passion?
Yeah, well, I'm quite involved in the women's business community down here in Adelaide, and I've been parts of lots of different business communities, continue to do that. That's part of my networking. But it always has been like a goal of mine to go and stand up in schools, which I haven't done yet, which I need to really throw myself out there a bit more just to, to tell women what's possible and what I've done in my journey and just encourage them. It doesn't have to be in property, it might be something else, but I think that's something I have to get onto. I'm just writing that down.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And look, you are a powerhouse. You present really well. I think your story being shared as much as possible will inspire people. Like you're very good at doing that. And I did touch on at the start your cards, right? Like the cards that you give
On my
people.
inspo cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start giving them out?
I've always been a super connector, super networker. It's very important. And I guess I just always want people to feel part of something. And so my inspirational cards, anytime I held an event or did something, I'd always put them on people's places and people love them. Like there's the odd person that's not really into them. And, that's not okay.
And
But
what are they exactly? Are they
so
it's like
I
a
haven't
tarot
really.
card, isn't it?
Well, it's not really. They're actually just pure inspirational cards. So, Lisa Messenger has a pack. You can get them at Big W. They're only about $20. And so
Got it.
I often keep them in my handbag. And, if I'm going somewhere, I'll just give them to people. Or it's just a way of bringing great energy to the world. And some people are never told that they're good enough or that they could do something. And I've had people say, Michelle, that one word that you gave me at something 3 years ago, it's on my fridge. I've still got that. That means so much to me. I'm like, whoa. So that's why I do it, is just to spread the love and the encouragement to, self-development's huge for me. And I just like to think that everyone else can do with a little bit of that as well.
So good. And
Yeah.
you're getting out there a bit on social media, right? Like that's your forte. You enjoy it. I see you go on Facebook Lives regularly, like this one. But
Yes.
you're really you're dabbling in that arena, right? Like that is something that you're trying to make a stamp in.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I made a decision some years ago that it's actually not about me. So I don't need to be worried about being out there, what I look like and what I say. It's actually, what about if I can help someone and make a difference in someone's life? One of my recent clients, owner occupier, bought a unit for her and her two daughters. And, her feedback to me was, Michelle, our lives are in a much better place because of what you have done for us. And just like that's worth more than any of the money. You just think, wow. And that's what I say to people, is get over yourself, put yourself out there, because it's not about you, it's about your clients and how you can help people, how you can be of service. So yeah, I do enjoy it. And my assistant and I have been working a bit more on that. It's a bit cringy sometimes when you hear yourself, you're like, ah. So it's a work in progress, James, but yeah, no, it's good.
No, and that's it, right? Like it's just losing the ego, right? Like whatever it might
Yes.
be, and just putting it out there, right? Like it's just getting it done, and you never
Yes.
know. Like I feel it as well because before doing any of this stuff, I was quite like not in the shadows, but I was just doing my own thing. I was like, my business is good. I just help my clients. I don't really need to get out there anymore. I had a
Yes.
business that was quite public beforehand, and then yeah, just wanted to hide in the shadows a little bit. But now over the last 2 years doing more of this stuff, you get the messages and you're like, okay, that is actually what keeps me going. You know what I mean? Like if
Yes.
I haven't produced a video, if I haven't said something on Instagram or a story or just doing my little photo in the morning, I know that it's going to like motivate someone to do something about their
Yeah.
situation. So yeah,
Yes.
it keeps you going, right? Like I can
Yeah.
definitely resonate with that.
Yeah, and for some people, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So if someone sees me talking, maybe that'll encourage them to talk and share what they know. And yeah, so just I encourage everyone out there to give it a go, or to get some help if you need it, or practice. Just practice. Your first one's never going to be perfect, but you get better with practice.
Always repetition.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
future, what is we're talking about goals before,
Mhm.
without putting you on the spot, but what does the next 12 months look like?
Yeah, look, so continuing my customer base, and being of service. And for me, a lot of my reason for coming into this space is to continue my projects and building our own personal situation with property. And so, yeah, I'll be continuing to work on them in the sides and obviously bringing all that expertise and knowledge to my clients. So for me, it's about lifestyle. I don't necessarily want to be the biggest. I'm the best in my world, and I bring 110% to my clients, but it's having more of that boutique feel where I work very closely with people. I am also looking at bringing on a couple of other BAs, so sharing the love, mentoring them, and also having that ability to step out of the business a bit and be the leader. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, the transition from buyer's agent to business owner, I think is like really exciting. And if it's a
Yeah.
lifestyle business too, you can have a phenomenal lifestyle just with,
Yes.
like I do say to people, I did a post recently just on like, this thing is real. The buyer's agent space is real,
Yeah.
because some people think it's a bit of a, it's not real. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
these people that we have on the show, or that you see, on the Facebook group, like it's not real. It's real. Like you were doing
Yeah.
one thing, and
Yeah.
now your sole income, obviously you've got your renos and
Yeah.
your properties that you hold, but in terms of like your business revenue is
Mm.
derived from the BA business.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to book a flight to Japan today. I'm going over there to do a little bit of a solo trip before I go to Korea and see my son. So, that's possible. You just can do that, which is
So
exciting.
cool. So the world
Mm.
traveler, or the traveler
Yeah.
that made his way from, where he was from, Adelaide, did he get to, where did he come to Melbourne or to
Oh yeah,
Victoria?
he hitched
Hitchhike?
my son. My
Yeah.
son hitchhiked to Melbourne and back. I think he spent $50 for the whole week and a half that he went. So yeah, now he's in Seoul in Korea. He got a grant to study over there, and
Wow.
he's planning to study all year in Fiji under a scholarship next year if he's successful. So he's a
No
go-getter. I'm
way.
super proud of him, and I say, see the world, go for it.
That's amazing. Like, I mean, there's not too many mums that would let their son hitchhike across the country, like essentially. So, and back again. But it was a
Well,
pretty amazing experience from what I heard, like what you'd told me. People that he met and things like that.
oh, amazing. Like 99% of people in the world are good. I wouldn't say I gave him permission, but when I knew he was going to do it anyway, I just talked to him about safety and
Yeah.
but he's not sitting in front of a computer playing games. He's living life. It's good. It's good. Yeah, we're
What
pretty
a
free range parents.
what an experience, like Seoul, and then the possibility of Fiji. Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that's the next stop maybe? So
Yeah, yeah, he'll probably study his third year in Fiji. That's his plan. Good on him.
amazing, amazing. And just closing it out,
Yes.
I always ask like guests on the show, those that are wanting to jump into the buyer's agent space, or maybe you already, you're part of BAI, any words that you would say to those people that are thinking about it, wanting to do it, like, yeah, ducks haven't lined up for them, or the stars haven't aligned, and they just haven't pushed go on it yet? Anything that you might sort of say to those people?
Definitely. So you can stay in your lane where you're safe and you're getting your weekly paycheck, or you can have some short-term pain for long-term game and choice, freedom, money, how you spend your time. So you've got to be committed. You've got to make sacrifices. So it doesn't all just fall onto a plate for you. But find something you love and commit to it. Don't make excuses. I hear a lot of people making excuses. So you've just got to change your whole mindset and focus. Just focus. Go for it, I say.
You can't change if you don't change, hey? So
Correct.
thank you so much, Michelle. Michelle Lewis from Michelle Lewis Property Buyers Agents. Really a pleasure to have you on. Thank you again, and we will speak to you soon.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and hope to see you soon. Reach out to me if I can ever help. I'm in Adelaide in SA, and we'll see you soon, James. Bye.
See ya.